Niger Junta has confirmed that rebels damaged an oil pipeline carrying crude oil to neighboring Benin. It is not surprising. Yes, because you don't beat a person and tell them not to cry, neither do you push a person and show them where to fall. So it's only normal that the people that has been benefiting immensely from Niger all these years, that have kept Niger as a country in the deteriorating state it was, will never give up easily. So this is just an underground instrument they are using to try to destabilize that country, to try to look for a way for them to find their feet back into this country. But I know that the junta will do whatever it takes to match them with whatever energy they are coming with. The Patriotic Liberation Front, which is fighting for the release of former President Mohamed Bazoum, who was overthrown in a coup last July, said it was behind the attack earlier this week. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you who are the sponsors of this so-called Patriotic Liberation Front. What have they liberated? What are they so patriotic about? The time Bazoum was busy mortgaging the riches and future of this country, the generations alive, the generations to come after them, where were this Patriotic Liberation Front? Do they even understand what their name really means? Patriotic Liberation Front. Why were they not standing up against Bazoum when he was mortgaging the riches and the futures of this country and their generations and their people's lives to their former or new colonial masters? But then they were silent. They were nowhere to be found. But now it is very clear that the new colonial master is now giving them money, trying to use them to find their feet back into Niger. But I believe that with the collective effort of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso together, they will be able to match this Patriotic Liberation Front and whosoever that is sponsoring them with the same energy they are coming with. It has threatened to target oil installations and called on the Chinese companies that run the pipeline to end their support for the military regime. They are only joking. Yes, because the Chinese will not do that. And even Russia will not allow them to do that either. Yes, because the Burkina Faso and Mali are in hands with Russia, and I know that Niger will follow suit. Yes. It is just that when Niger is making any new agreement after what they have been through for all these years, they should be very careful with the agreement they are agreeing with anybody, so that you don't use one devil to chase another to invite a bigger devil into your house. Yes. It is the latest setback to hit the newly opened 2,000-kilometer pipeline as relations between Niger and Benin continue to soar. State media said that the malicious individuals who have sabotaged part of the pipeline would be apprehended and prosecuted. That is the right thing to do. You have to apprehend them and make them to face the law for what they have committed. We know which group is the author of the act. Public prosecutor Osman Badoya is quoted by AFP news agency saying, footage aired on the state-run broadcast Tele Sahel on Friday evening showed the damage in Niger's southern Sinda region, with an oil spill stretching out into the bush. The pipeline was formally launched at the end of last year and links Niger's Agadem oil field to Benin's coast, and is said to be vital to both economies. So you see that these people are even stupid, because what they are doing, but is probably obvious that they don't even care, because they have been given some euros and some dollars, and they don't even care about the so-called country they say they are fighting for, the so-called stupid leader. And they don't even understand what the meaning of their name mean. Patriotic Liberation Front. Because this sabotage they are causing now will be affecting the economy of Niger and that of Benin Republic too. Yes. But its future has been in jeopardy following last year's coups when regional sanctions were imposed on Niger. In February, the regional bloc ECOWAS agreed to lift them and borders were allowed to be opened. Benin's economy had also been hit by trade block and was anxious for imports and exports to resume. So for the 6-7 months that the borders were closed, it affected Benin Republic economy seriously, that they are very anxious, and they were just hoping that these sanctions will be lifted, which they have been lifted, and they are just hoping that imports and exports will resume so their economy can pick up again. And then this one. But Niger decided to keep its borders closed to goods from Benin, alleging its neighbors was hosting French forces that were training others to destabilize Niger. So now you begin to understand why Niger refused to open the border that Benin has been asking them to open so that their own goods and services can flow in. Because Niger is just trying to be more careful because they know that they are alleging that their neighbor was hosting French forces that were training others to destabilize their Niger. So it's a matter of security concern, serious one. The junta in Niger views France with suspicion and has established closer ties with Russia since coming to power. So you see, they have Russia already on their side. It kicked out French troops who had been in the West African state to fight militia Islamists threatening stability across the region. France maintains it has no base in Benin, and such allegations are part of disinformation campaigns against the former colonial power. They are not former because until the junta threw them out, they were never former. They were still very active in Niger. Nonetheless, the refusal to reopen the land border, usually busy with lorries driving back and forth, prompted Benin to block Niger's inaugural oil exports. China stepped into ease tensions, and Niger did manage to join the world of oil exporters. Its first batch of crude leaving Benin at the end of May. But the spark between Benin and Niger has continued. Earlier this month, 5 Niger nationals were arrested at an oil port in Benin on impersonation charges, and a loading of second crude shipment was reportedly aborted. 3 of the Nigerians were given 18 months suspended sentence, and all of them who worked for the Chinese oil firm running the pipeline were expelled and flown to Niamey on Friday. So this issue for Niger is a matter of security concern.